When a major winter storm hit the Northeast this week, many restaurants were forced to close outdoor dining. This setback added another strain on eateries already struggling during the pandemic. Some restaurants have even been forced to shut down for good. Jeff Katz is a partner at the Crown Shy restaurant in New York, and he joins us now to discuss the restaurant industry and all you're facing. Jeff, New York City shut down indoor dining this week, and the winter storm also forced outdoor dining to close. It's been a 1-2 punch for New York restaurants. How are places like yours holding up?
I think it's important to remember that the reality is that there's not that many places holding up anymore. You see sort of stats coming from things like Open Table, who tell you 90% of the volume for reservations has been lost from year to year. This particular time of the year is usually really important for us. We make a lot of our sort of profits at the end, certainly in New York City with events and holiday dining and all those kinds of things, and that's gone this year. We're estimating that we're going to lose about half of the restaurants in New York City over the course of the next 6 months, and we've already lost almost 200,000 jobs. So it's really not so much how to get through it, it's just how are we going to bring it back up that I think is the question.
And my sympathies to you and to everybody in the industry who is struggling so much. Coronavirus relief has been something that Congress has been negotiating for a very long time at this point. Given your position as a restaurant manager and partner, what would you like to see Congress include in this bill, and what type of aid do you need from the government?
At the end of the day, we need a lot. We have worked really hard to get something called the Restaurants Act that was accepted into the Democrats' sort of relief package. It has since not stayed sort of in the conversation in the current iteration of relief packages that are out there. We hope that there's something that comes out that specifically targets restaurants for relief. The problem is that we have a specific set of needs and criteria to be able to sort of lift us back up. And if we don't see sort of help pretty soon, we're going to start to see more and more things sort of fall by the wayside. The act that we've pushed for has over 50 senators and over 200 congresspeople who have signed on to support it. It's just interesting that it hasn't gotten anywhere. And if you start to sort of read through what's happening in the current bill, you see things like $17 billion going to the airlines. A report that I read from Reuters saying that they were looking to save 32,000 jobs with that $17 billion. If you do that calculation out for what the Restaurant Act asks for, which is $120 billion, but we're looking to save between 1 and 2 million jobs. The calculation there is $500,000 per employee at an airline and something between $45,000 and $90,000 for the restaurant workers. So it's a tough spot. We have to figure out a way to save an industry that represents 4.5% of the GDP.
Yeah, Jeff, I think that that's something that most people don't realize, which is how important the restaurant industry is to all these different aspects of the health of the U.S. economy. What other sectors have you seen directly impacted by the closure of so many restaurants this year?
Well, we're kind of the middle of a big economic cycle, right? So the business itself has its issues. One of the reasons that we really haven't sort of represented ourselves all that well in government is that we don't have the capital to be able to throw towards the lobby, right? So, we don't really have the representation that I think we need to be able to do, sort of get the help that we need in various levels of government. And, at the end of the day, I guess, if things don't sort of turn around quickly, we're gonna be in a bit of trouble. Florists, distributors, wine producers, craftspeople, technicians, the list of businesses that touch our business is really, really long. And so, they say you're talking about 16.5 million people that are sort of somehow related to actually being workers or related to the industry. And if it doesn't get going pretty quickly, a lot of these businesses are gonna fail, and that's on top of the ones that already have. Here in New York City,
if Congress. Sorry, Jeff. I'm saying, I'm wondering if Congress doesn't, in fact, take care of the restaurant industry, is there something that you're looking to all of us, regular folks who just love our local restaurants, what we can do during this pandemic to help support you guys?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, for the ones that are sort of still sticking around, anything that you guys can do to sort of, keep cash walking in the door, order delivery, buy gift cards, all the little things like that. But at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to get us over the hump here is some kind of federal relief. The states are strapped for cash. All the tax cuts and all the little things that they could offer aren't going to get us back up and running. We need really substantial, very specific relief to get going again. So, call your senators, call your congresspeople, call anyone who you think is influential. We need something like this to pass today, or we need it to pass in January when things change in D.C., but something's got to happen.
All right, Jeff Katz, thank you for joining us, and good luck to you.
Cheers.